This storm will kill you.
Look! I'm telling you! You know what I mean,
But if
folks?
rich people aren't looking out for us, who is?
It makes no difference which one of us you vote for. Either way, your planet is doomed.
You're listening to the Our Take Podcast with Brian Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get, like, the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions, and I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
1 hour.
This is the Our Take Podcast.
From Scary Parrot Media Studios in Ogden, Utah, it's the Our Take Podcast, episode 113. I'm Brian.
I am Spencer.
Should we skip 13 for luck, or does that only matter?
I think you just announced it, so it's
All
too
right,
late.
That's fine. 113. Hey, find us at the Our Take Pod, or just search the Our Take Podcast on TikTok.
Do you think that's why we don't have as many listeners as we like? Is because we did episode 13?
We did 13. It's the problem.
Oh.
Yeah. It is June the 27th, people. On this day in history, President Biden issues his first airstrikes against Iran on the border of Iraq.
Militias.
Is that right? Am I reading that right?
Militias.
Militias.
It's not,
We're not at war with Iran
right.
yet.
Wouldn't that be funny if Biden took us to war with Iran? I mean, it wouldn't be funny, but
Not like, ha-ha.
it'd be like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah, Biden
we vouched
orders,
for you, bro.
Biden orders airstrikes on Iran-backed militias near Iraq-Syria border in response to UAV attacks. You know what this reminds me of? How in Gaza, the Hamas was using balloons to drop, and then they flew in like F-35s.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else happened on this day in history on June 27th in 1986? The 1980s U.S. intervention in Nicaragua is declared illegal.
Is that with the Contra?
The International Court of Justice condemned the U.S. parliamentary campaign to overthrow the left-wing Nicaraguan government.
That's when technically Reagan committed treason, yeah?
Or high crime.
Yeah.
According to the International Court, the Social Democratic Sandinistas had begun to redistribute the country's wealth and improve education. Interesting. What else on this day in history? In 1954, the world's first nuclear power plant is activated in Russia. Obinsk, to be specific. That's like in Risk up there by Kamchatka.
Kamchatka. I haven't played Risk in forever.
Man, it remained in operation for 48 years. Today, there are more than 400 atomic power plants worldwide.
Wow.
Yeah. We should just probably just go all wide, all in here.
Whoa.
Wind and nuclear wind.
Wait, what? I don't think that would work. That wouldn't work.
Oh,
Here,
man.
This is what I was looking for.
Here's another one, though. I know I've just done two, but sometimes these numbers are just baffling to me, and we're going to talk about Ethiopia later. But on this day in history in 1991, Yugoslav troops invade Slovenia. The attack, which marked the beginning of the 10-day war, followed Slovenia's declaration of independence. It was the first of the Yugoslav wars, a number of ethnic conflicts leading up to the breakup of Yugoslavia and resulting in at least 140,000 deaths. Those numbers are just crazy.
That is crazy.
Like, for context, what Vietnam was 57,000 U.S.
Right.
soldiers. 140,000 in this 10-day war? I mean, I don't know if it was really 10 days, but...
Do you want to hear a song about that Nicaragua incident?
Yeah. Is it by...
Who's Oliver North?
What? I can't believe you kids don't know about the great patriot Ollie North.
In the 80s, there was Cold War drama. We fought the commies inside Nicaragua. Our friends were the Contras. Freedom was their mantra, so we sent them lots of money for guns and landmines. But Congress stopped the Contra money flow just 'cause they moved a teeny bit of blow. But then a hero came forth. His name was Oliver North. He and Reagan went around the sissy Congress. Ollie North, Ollie North. You see, North secretly sold missiles to a harmless country called Iran that would always be a grateful ally. Then he gave the profits to the Contras. Genius! But the sails were uncovered by the press. Reagan and North began to stress. Cause what they did was technically high treason. But it was totally justified. North volunteered to take the blame to save Reagan from prison rape shame. The truth he did bury with
This
his
will be
hot
flagged on
secretary.
You think?
Thanks
Yeah.
to her
Oh, it's on
shredder.
YouTube.
No, because it's copyright.
No, this is on YouTube.
Oh, no, yeah. When we put it on YouTube.
Oh.
Which is fine. I just cut it out.
And now he's on Fox News.
Wait, who was they talking about at the end there?
Ollie North.
That's the end.
Ollie North.
Now he's on Fox News.
Well, there you go.
It's brought to you by American Dad.
We don't know anything about history. Reagan, anyway. Like, I think the most I learned about Reagan was from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, really?
Voodoo economics. Remember that? Something DOO economics, and it's Ben Stein talking about
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Dang.
I should really read more into the Contras. I mean, I know of that. I know of what happened, but I'd love to read into the specifics and why. Like, did Democrats do anything? Did they try and impeach?
I was only one.
What year was that?
Oh, I don't know, the 80s.
86 was when it was declared illegal. I
Right,
was
right,
2.
right.
Yeah.
Um,
Nevertheless, come
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Contra or the military in
Yeah.
general, I don't know if I have this TikTok somewhere, but I just thought it was funny. So, you know how TikTok is real big lately on putting little warnings on the bottom.
Yeah, like this was
This is-
supervised by professionals.
Yeah, it says the actions here could be considered dangerous.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching this video, and it's completely a 100% innocent video. Like, there's nothing.
Completely innocuous.
Yeah, and it is about a soldier, and she is deploying. And then at the bottom it says,
This could be dangerous.
the actions taken in this video. So TikTok is like, hey, if you deploy to Afghanistan, it might be dangerous.
It's China, right?
Yeah.
TikTok is Chinese.
Oh, there you go.
They're like, Americans going to war, we must warn the kids not to join because it's dangerous.
Right,
You
right,
could post like sex and we won't,
right,
you know.
right.
That should be flagged for like, venereal.
Dude, yeah, there's
diseases, VDs.
some sketchy stuff on TikTok
Yeah.
and Instagram lately. Speaking of tornadoes, my shirt today, you may or may not recognize it, depending on if you're a fan of the movie Twister.
I got to get me one of
But
those.
this says we've got cows
We got cows.
because there's a scene where they're driving down and there's a tornado to the side and it whips a cow past them a couple times.
You know, on the back,
so we
you should
got
put
cows.
another cow.
You're
Because
right.
that's what the
You're right. She does say that.
But the best line is
Helen,
right after that.
Helen Hunt.
Yes. The line after that is, actually, I think that was the same one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is. God rest his soul.
Paxton.
Bill Paxton.
I will put that on the ourtakepodcast.com where you can order yours today.
There you go.
Their shirt up there right now is the Queen.
Oh, yeah. Queen of the Skies.
Queen of the Skies.
But last time we talked about naders, because I guess I just come back. Wow, it's been that long.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And we were talking about how they happen here the most, and they don't happen in other countries
Right.
very often. And then a couple days ago on the news, a giant tornado hits the Czech Republic.
Get out.
Yeah. And these
How big?
are, well, I don't know if that's come out yet, but I sent you those 3 Twitter
Oh, yeah.
videos.
You want me to go to 'em?
Okay.
Okay.
And there's some of the best tornado footage, and it's because these people don't know how dangerous they are.
Is there volume? Does that matter?
I don't know.
All right. Let's just go for it here.
I've got it turned up, but
All right, it's like a backyard. Big, tall
yeah.
trees.
So this guy back here.
Those trees are blowing over. Like,
Do you see how the tornado comes? They just flatten. The trees are
Right.
just gone.
those are big trees, too. Like, those were
Yeah.
like 100-foot trees.
Right, and you can see the tornado out in the distance. Not
Oh.
well, not really distance,
You
but
could see a little bit of rotation.
and then this
okay.
guy closes his blinds. He's like, "This'll
This will stop the
This'll
2x4.
right," and then he opens them again.
Yeah. Oh, man,
And-
it's like in his yard.
And then there's a little satellite nader that, and this is what I was talking
look
about
at that
last
roof come
time.
off
yeah,
right there?
But right there, bam,
Oh.
blows out his window.
Blows out his window.
And then the video obviously is.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah.
The negative pressure, man. I remember that when it happened in Salt Lake. There was a reporter, like in a parking structure, and he called into the station to like be on like live, like we have
Right.
a tornado.
Right.
Yeah, but he talked about like how it sucked the air, like he couldn't breathe.
Yeah, yeah.
The negative pressure.
It does.
All right, so let's look at another one. Another one of these here.
Yeah. And then the next one, I think, is that the same one or is that?
It's a different video.
Oh,
Okay, so we have a little funnel here.
well,
Large rope on the ground.
that's past a rope. That is a that is more of a stovepipe, I believe. No, that's what is that called?
It's a solid F2.
Probably or
Yeah.
more, but you could. There's the next video has all the damage that it left, and you might reconsider.
Is this guy on his roof?
I think so, man. These people are just like they have no.
Look at this
There's
this
literally
debris.
falling around him,
It's freaking like a hood of a truck.
and it's just because they don't know, man.
Yeah.
They have no idea.
Ain't
How,
never it's like how we video UFOs.
right?
We don't know. We don't know. All
And
right, let's
then
look at this next one.
This is the aftermath of
This is in Czech Republic, you said?
yeah.
Look at this car. Look at that. It's
Yeah.
like a Forerunner. Steel structure, all that's left.
And then it started a bunch of fires.
Lots of fires.
Cars are just obliterated, flattened. Houses are gutted.
No windows. Yep. No windows. That half of that building's gone. Well, that almost looks like it's under construction because of the way it ripped everything
Yeah.
up.
So I mean that's a pretty solid tornado. That's
Yeah.
gonna be a EF3 or maybe probably EF3.
That's a nasty fire.
I'm not sure how they.
That's the car fire.
Is that what it is?
Looked like it.
Oh man, look at that.
Look at that car, man. So, do we know, like, is there like a death toll for this?
I actually don't know.
Look at these cars. Like, just, it's amazing. It's awesome.
It's
awesome.
It's
As in, like,
it's
so big.
yeah. I mean the amount of destruction.
Yeah.
It's just the I think the most telling thing was that first thing when the tornado's not even there, but the trees. It's like
Yeah, just-
it's like someone just
Yeah.
pushed them all over.
Yeah.
There was no like. You know
Right,
how you
ima-
see them bend here when we get the big winds,
Right.
And you're like, oh, that one's gonna go. They just
They
went.
just go. Like, imagine, like, you see, like, a 6-inch dandelion, and you step on the base of it.
Yeah.
That's what this looked like for those of you who aren't viewing this on YouTube or TikTok.
Let's see. Is there a death toll? Man captures moments. Check rare video. Rare tornado. It says 5 killed.
Wow.
You know,
That's lucky.
we haven't had a high death toll tornado in quite a while. I'm not sure if that's because of we've got a lot
Knock
of
on wood.
we've gotten a lot more advanced with our warnings
Right.
and such. But
Are you know, like seatbelts are required by law in most states, and helmets. Are there? There should be laws about storm cellars.
there's none. But I will say that growing up in Texas, nobody had a storm cellar.
Really?
That when we didn't have basements there because our earth was too
Water table.
it was too clay ridden, and we had to replace our foundations regardless because of how much they
I wonder-
shifted. But
Could you
now,
put up just cement?
yeah,
Okay.
that is a thing now where either you can buy one at Home Depot and dig out a hole. You can, and you just put it in the hole,
Okay.
and you got to do it right so the water doesn't come in and pop it out.
Right.
And then a lot of people will build one into the house where they
Sure.
or they just do
Like crazy. Yeah.
cinder blocks and then a bunch of cement and
Could you cement? You got some Texas there.
cement.
Can you could you build just a freestanding reinforced concrete square on in your yard? Would that work, or would it blow over?
I mean, yes, to a point. It just depends. I mean,
Yeah.
you never know. If you get something that the EF5 that hit Moore, Oklahoma, it may
It just will suck it off the ground.
it may.
Yeah, that's true.
And really, what you would more be worried about is these things have lifted train cars before. Like,
Right.
it could throw something into you.
So no.
So if it's in the middle of your house, at least if it throws a truck you know,
Right.
it's got at least the house to break some
Yeah.
of the momentum.
All right. If for some reason you were listening
But-
and thinking, I'm going to go build a freestanding because Brian said maybe it would work, I don't think it would work.
But for the majority of tornadoes, you'd probably be okay.
Right.
We haven't had a F5 in 8 years, I think.
Come on, man. You keep saying stuff like we did have our first hurricane.
Yeah.
First named
What?
hurricane.
Well, we've obviously they went straight to Claudette or whatever it was.
So what happened to A
So
and
what
B?
happened to A and B? I didn't even hear about them.
Huh.
Anyway,
I read it as the first named.
but it was, I don't know.
Interesting.
Maybe it was the first named actual, because they'll name. Do they name depressions? I can't remember. I think
I have major depression. Oh,
I can't remember if they name them when they become a depression or a tropical storm.
I have depression. What was the name? Claudette. That's
Yeah.
the season I'm in my depression.
It is Claudette. So how have we? What happened to Anna and Bill? I wanted Hurricane Bill.
Oh man, yeah, Hurricane Bill. That's like an angry high school
Hurricane-
teacher.
Hurricane Fred. Hurricane Grace. You're just asking for that to be a freaking
Oh,
Cat
man,
5.
You can't call it Grace. What are you thinking? Especially in that part of the country.
That's Mindy. What is Nicholas? Odette. They had some weird.
I love how they
names
already
last
have them
year,
like
too.
picked out.
They've got them like for the next 3 years, and they've stopped using because we had so many last year. They're not going to use the Latin. Was it Latin or Roman?
Is that
alphabet?
what they went into?
Yeah, that's what they've normally done, and they don't normally have to do that. So
Right.
that went into alpha, beta. It's not.
It's not Charlie,
It skips. I think it skips to gamma or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. I remember you talking about it now.
But they have a whole secondary set of names now.
Have you
so-
seen this monsoon? I mean, we're having crazy weather. First of all, my brother lives in Portland,
Oh yeah.
second least air-conditioned city in the country.
Well, I remember I had a roommate. My roommate Jimmy was from around Portland,
Yeah.
and he's like, when he lived here, he went to BYU, and he's like, I can't wait to get back to Oregon
Right.
because it's always the temperature's always great there.
Like it's muggy because
Yeah.
it rains a lot,
Uh-huh.
but no one has air conditioners.
Right.
Like no one. And their forecast is 114 degrees tomorrow.
That's insane, man.
Portland.
It's too high north to be that
It's crazy.
to be that hot.
And we have a monsoon that's going to stretch into southern Utah.
Oh.
I saw a map of that today.
That's
It's gonna cover all of like Arizona and some of California, and then stretch into Utah, New Mexico. Crazy.
Wouldn't that be good though?
A monsoon, I suppose. We are very low on water.
You know, everyone keeps talking about how the drought is so bad this year, and how they're canceling all the fireworks everywhere and everything. But I swear, there's been way worse drought since I've been here.
Well, the beautiful part about our infrastructure
Uh-huh.
is they warn us and warn us and warn us, and they do such a good job at managing what we have that we typically don't feel it. Right?
Right.
There are things people could do, obviously. You water your lawn less, put bricks in your toilet. We talked about that one before.
Bricks
I think.
in your
If
toilet?
you put bricks in the tank of your toilet, it's the same as pushing the plunger down further. So it just doesn't have as much volume.
Oh,
But
I don't know, man.
I need that volume.
Once you,
man.
then you start
have a-
flushing like 5 times.
Well, no, you have a 1-2
That's
flush.
true.
Yeah.
I do. I do have a 1-2 flush.
But I thought about stopping,
Mhm.
watering my lawn.
Stopping going to the bathroom.
And I'm going to put a sign in my yard that says, I'm trying to think of a catchphrase. Like, let's go yellow
Are you wanting people to pee on your yard?
to drought, to make this drought more mellow. Like something like that.
Wouldn't that be a lot of ammonia and like?
No, I'm not talking about peeing on the lawn.
Oh, I thought you wanted people
No,
to
no,
come
no,
to
no.
the back of your lawn and pee.
No. I'm talking about not watering my lawn so it goes yellow. And then the sign in my yard tells people they're like, hey,
I
why?
literally thought you were gonna have a sign that's
No,
like,
no.
"Hey, instead of going to the bathroom and flushing the toilet, come to my
Just
backyard
come pee on my
and
grass.
water my yard with your urine."
That's awesome. It's not a bad idea, first of all. I mean,
I think that
depending on how the hydration of the person.
botanist. No,
Yeah.
there might be some people that disagree with
Right.
you.
No, but if people are driving by, like, what's up with Brian's lawn? It's yellow. I could have a sign that says,
It's yellow.
I'm going yellow
Right.
to end this,
You know,
to mellow this. You know what I'm saying?
I will say that lawns is having a green, pretty lawn is such an American, luxury.
It is.
And
However,
it's completely unnecessary.
I will say this. Have you ever looked at how much oxygen grass puts out?
Is it a lot?
It's a lot. Like, because I thought about ripping out my lawn and just going trees.
Yeah.
And I looked up the numbers, like, not that I need the oxygen, right? But I'm talking about carbon footprint.
Right.
And it was not even close. Like, grass puts out a ton. Now, you pretty much counter any of that effort when you mow it with a gas-powered lawnmower.
You don't have an electric lawnmower?
Not yet. I got an Ego weed eater, though. Yeah.
That's good. If you get an electric lawnmower, I mean, skip the corded one. Spend the extra money and get the cordless. That's just.
I'll go Ego.
That's ridiculous.
So I have an Ego blower and an Ego weed eater. The next step is an Ego.
Take an Ego blower right now.
Next step's an Ego lawnmower and an Ego snowblower.
Lots of blowing going on.
Lots of ego, lots of blowing. Yeah.
Oh, so a couple aviation things this week. First of all, I got to send you this video. I don't remember why I stumbled upon this. It must have been a TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
But the U.S. has a fleet of like 6. I think they're called LC-130s.
LC-130s.
Yeah, I just sent you a video.
Like a text?
Yeah.
There it is.
And these planes are specifically for the North Pole.
Okay.
They have giant skis on them.
They have like a Santa radar? Oh, that's
oh, no, the Antarctica, not the North Pole. Wait.
So the South Pole.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I have volume
down
up.
there.
Turn up my volume.
Yeah, it's up.
Okay. I think I'm up and going to...
Make sure the video's not muted.
I thought I was.
Why don't we have sound?
Let's just check. I'll check while it's playing here. So that's a giant freaking plane, man.
Oh, it's a C-130. I mean,
An LC-130.
right.
Right.
So it has something that I wasn't aware was a thing.
Okay, here comes the sound. Should be.
It has freaking rocket boosters on the
Dude,
side.
that's what they tried to do. It says it's coming through the mixer, by the way. That's crazy. I'm gonna go back. I want to look at those rockets. You realize that that's not the first time that the United States government has put rockets on a plane to boost it.
Well, there's another one right there.
Do you
The
remember
Germans.
the Iran hostage situation?
Uh-huh.
Argo is the movie about it.
Right.
The plan was to land probably a C-130, big freaking plane, but they knew the runway wouldn't be long enough
Right.
for either landing or taking off. So they had retro boosters first to stop the plane, and they tested it a bunch and crashed a bunch of them. And then, of course, boosters to take off. Never worked, obviously, but...
Anyway, well, they must have figured it out. Because, yeah, they don't really even use runways there. They just... Oh,
there it is.
Sound. Weird.
So, jeez, okay. Like, was that 4 or 5 rockets on each side?
Yeah.
Right by the, rear landing gear.
I think we need those in car. It's like Mario Kart right there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, dude. Hit the booster.
Talk about the NOS.
That'd be fun to be that pilot, wouldn't it?
Can't be good for the environment.
Oh, here's a, let's see. There you go. I'd be interested to know the math. Like, how much thrust that's actually providing,
No, right? It doesn't seem like it'd be a...
It doesn't
I don't
look
know.
like much.
Honestly,
They look like...
it looks like someone put, Roman candles on the
Right.
back.
Right. Like, obviously, this is a huge plane. So one of those, streams of fire right there, what do you think that's the size of, I don't know, that's got to be, 30 feet long, right?
Yeah.
Just the tail of one of the jets, and probably probably like a 10-foot diameter. So they're big, but
yeah, I mean, it's not that big of a plane, though. I mean, it is, but it's not.
right. Now this plane isn't even a jet that we're seeing.
Well,
here.
it's a turboprop, which is a different
Turboprop.
kind of jet.
Thank you for You're right. You're right.
I know.
Short burn duration booster. Yeah, that'd be fun to be that pilot to hit those.
Hit the boosters.
What if only
Go at
one
light
lit and you go
speed.
in a big circle?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
That would be tragic.
Yeah.
The other thing this week, not that this is news, it's just a discovery to me, was a United flight. A passenger got up, knocked on the captain's door, and then when there was no response, went out the emergency exit. And the slide deployed, of course.
But it's like he didn't wait, right?
Yeah.
The slide deployed, but he didn't wait. He
Is
just
that what
jumped.
happened? Because
He got hurt.
Okay, yeah. Oh, well, that's what I had heard, that he got hurt, and because the story was the man survived, and I was like, oh, what?
Right. I figured it would when I saw the thing that said like the slide deployed.
Uh-huh.
I was like, okay, how long does it take for plane slide to deploy?
Oh, it's not very long.
No,
But
6
if he just
seconds.
if he just opened it and walked, then I guess
Right, 6 seconds is a long time.
I think even if you waited 3 seconds, you'd have something.
Right, because it's going to take you like 1.5 seconds to get down.
Yeah.
But if you're like opening the door and walk out, then yeah, you're just walking onto like a plastic, like a non-inflated bounce house, sliding to the ground. Yeah, there's rumors that he was trying to hijack the plane and then just opened the door.
See, that's what they said about the. Did you see that other video? I think it was a Delta flight where the guy lost his mind, started banging on the captain's door, and a bunch of people subdued him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if.
Right. I don't know if it was a hijack, but it's it's punishable by death.
But we've talked about this before. It's exactly why I think 9/11 couldn't repeat
couldn't
itself
happen,
exactly
no.
because of
Passengers.
how many people are.
I mean, like, obviously the reports were. Didn't they? I'm trying to think back to all the 9/11 specials I watched. Didn't some of them?
There's so many.
Didn't some of the hijackers say we're going to land safely? That's not about.
Oh, I'm sure they did, and that had
and
been.
they said there were bombs on the plane too.
That had been kind of the MO of hijacking.
Right.
Was to get what you wanted and then let everybody go.
Right. So the first 3 planes hit, and the 4th plane found out about it.
Uh-huh.
Right, or something like that.
Right.
It's crazy.
Oh,
Anyway.
here's a video of a. Actually, it looks like one of ours. You know, every now and then when I was in e-learning, we had to send out a video to a training video to the flight attendants to make sure to disarm the slide.
I was going to ask, like,
Because
wait a second before I play this. They deactivate the slide like while they're in flight.
No, it's once you have you never heard them. The captain will get on, check, make sure the doors are armed or unarmed. So as soon as the door's shut, they get armed, and then part of the process why it takes so long to get the door open is because they have to disarm the slides.
slide.
But
Gotcha.
sometimes there have been various occasions where they forget and it explodes and like bumps into the gate, and sometimes it goes back into the plane. And
Yeah, it's like a loose balloon.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah, basically.
all right, let's look.
So I mean, it deploys pretty quick there.
What is this? What are we looking at?
That's a ERJ. That's one of the planes, and that's just I think that's the right door. Oh no, that's the aft.
Just that easy. Bam. Oh, see that strap that hung on?
It's got to inflate enough for that to.
That's where the guy got hung up. All right, so that almost seemed like less than 6 seconds for that one.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. That's the exact plane that he was on. So
Right
it
on.
was the SkyWest plane operated by SkyWest. So
Right.
you know, it was all the
It's coming out of your check.
all the they are like $30,000 or something to replace.
That's it. I thought it would be more for some reason.
I don't know.
I don't know
It just
why.
seems like everything in the airplane's stupid expensive.
Right.
Like,
Like if you ask me how much do you think it is to replace this slide on an airplane, I'd probably be like 20 grand. I don't know. It's like replacing an airbag in your car is like
well,
$1,000.
yeah. I mean, ours are 20, 25 or 30 grand. I'm sure the bigger planes are even more.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's stupid.
Wait, hang on. What? How much did you say it was?
I said 30,000.
Oh, I thought you said 3.
No,
That's why I was like, damn.
No,
that's-
no,
okay.
no.
All right. Yeah, dude jumped out of there. Huh. I've always wanted to slide down one of those.
How
How come no one stopped him?
could arrange that? Maybe
Like he was just
we have a training one at my
really?
work.
Yeah, let's do it. Like he just
I don't know.
there's no flight attendant nearby, no passenger. Like, hey, don't touch that.
I guess.
I mean, I guess you can open it pretty fast.
Yeah, you can, which is kind of frightening when you think.
It's amazing that more exit doors aren't opened
Right.
in the exit row.
Right.
You know,
Well, I think those are a little harder. You got to break open the thing. You don't just
you
pull
have to
a
like
lever.
break the glass like a fire extinguisher.
No, but you have to like pull the panel off or something. It's
Oh,
not
that's right.
quite as simple.
Nevertheless, you know,
Right.
I would think that
Plus,
that
you
would
have
happen
two
more.
people sitting next to you that would be like, "Hey,
Right. Don't kill us.
don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that.
Be sucked out. Be sucked out so
Come on.
fast.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Don't do that." Yeah. So
Interesting.
speaking of work, the other day I was walking past one of our assistants, and she has a administrative assistant, and she has a bowl of candy,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a Snickers inside, and she's like, "You should have a Snickers." I was like, "Why?
Don't ever ask why.
Am I acting like do I need a Snickers? You know,
Yeah,
am I
yeah.
hungry?" She's like, "Yeah, you're acting like Betty White," and it just got me thinking, like, Betty White's not my hangry Snickers
No.
character.
No, we'll have to think about this for a second.
Yeah, I thought about it, and you know, the Big Show
Yeah.
from WWF.
Yeah. That's a good
He's a
one.
pretty mellow guy, but then he'll grab you and he'll choke slam you.
Right. And he'll throw
Um,
his palm into the air.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Which I don't know what.
Big hands, man.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
got
yeah.
big
They are
hands.
huge.
Yeah.
So that'd probably be my hangry character.
Have you thought about this for me? Or you wanted me to think of one?
Yeah,
for
I
me?
mean, like, what when you get angry, hangry, and you need a Snickers, whose personality do you kind of?
Maybe like a Rodney Dangerfield. I'm getting no respect. Getting no respect.
Okay.
not to be funny,
No,
just because you know,
yeah,
like
that's how he gets angry.
yeah, I feel like he's the kind of person that would just be like, "Fuck off!" Like he would, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't get angry often. I just get anxious.
Anxiously hungry.
I get anxiously hungry. Yeah, more like I don't know who. Trying to think of an anxious character. I'll have to think about that one longer to see who I am. Hangry character.
Hangry. One other thing before we talk about anything serious, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna need. Hold on, let me send this picture over here. I am gonna need to borrow your computer.
Okay.
So go ahead and put that. Put your
This picture you're sending me right now.
yeah. Go ahead and put this on the screen.
Of course, people listening in your car or wherever it might be, I'll probably put this on TikTok. If
Yeah,
not-
this is going to be a TikTok
not,
one
you
for
can
sure.
go
But
to-
you know, I'll give you a good enough explanation of what's going on here.
Okay. Let me
Um,
move this.
this segment I'm calling "Critical Men's Bathroom Theory" because that's all the rage right now. Critical theories.
Yeah.
Why they just shouldn't call it history, I don't know.
Well, okay, I can give you while I'm doing this.
Uh-huh.
Critical race theory is called that simply because the school was called it was like a school of critical thought.
Oh.
So it's not like it's
Oh, that's really dumb. That
it's not that. So okay, let me make this big. That's what she said, and I'll transition this, and then I'll take my headphones out and we can trade. Okay.
Hold on, my headphones are gonna go over there. Yours?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't it? All right.
Now I'm in control. of the mixer.
Wow, things are different over here.
Yeah.
Okay, is this a touch screen?
No.
Oh,
So you got my mouse right there.
That's not
So-
that's not good.
So this should be on the screen though.
Okay. We have. Why is it not letting me?
You're in preview, I believe.
Oh wait, here we go. That's what I want.
Let me be able to look at this screen here. This looks like, so this is a schematic of a bathroom?
Yes. So, this is my bathroom at work.
Okay.
And I ran into this situation the other day.
Did you draw this for this?
Yes.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I like the
Well, I
effort.
mean, it's a very serious topic to me.
Right.
And, I was filled with a lot of rage.
When this happened? Okay.
All right, so this is our bathroom schematic, and a lot of bathrooms will be like this. We got 4 urinals.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
The attention to detail here. You even put in toilet paper dispensers.
I did.
That's amazing.
I did.
You even put in the little dot in the drain.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And is that paper towels?
it is.
You guys got to see this. This is amazing.
So we got 4 urinals. Okay.
Right.
Then 3 toilets. All right.
The urinals do have dividers between them.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
So no sneaking any
No
looks.
sneaking peeks.
Yeah. And so here's what happened the other day. All right. I walk into the bathroom just like this.
This is like a court case, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the
Oh, I'm getting
I'm getting the throbber.
I'm getting a triangle here. What? All right. So I walk in.
Okay.
Okay, and there's this guy peeing.
Where was he?
Well, you know what? Before I do this,
Okay.
let me ask you.
Sure.
You walk in, no one's in the bathroom.
Except for one other guy.
No, let's say
Okay,
no one's in
the
there.
bathroom.
Okay?
Okay.
Where do you go? You're going pee.
I will go to a corner.
Okay.
One of the corners.
Okay. Now, that is a correct answer, but there is even a more correct answer for that, depending on the situation.
Like the nearest corner.
Basically,
Yeah.
you want to go to the corner furthest away from the stalls,
Right.
right? Okay.
Right, because you don't want to be hearing.
Right.
Right.
All right, so I walk in, and there's a man right here.
So the only excuse he might have is that someone was like at the other corner.
That's true.
And left.
That's possible.
It's possible.
That is possible.
But I will not give him that
But,
benefit of the doubt.
yeah. So I walk in, and I'm like, WTF. Wait, why does it keep doing this?
I don't know.
Come on. All right. I walk in, and I'm like,
How long did you stand there?
not long.
Okay.
I just, and I'm like, so where do I go? Of course, I got to go over here.
Right. You got to go
Right here is where I am now.
because it's a really dumb unspoken rule, even with dividers,
Yeah, you don't want to. I mean,
that you don't.
I don't want to.
I've met people who, even if they'll wait.
Really.
That just makes no sense.
No,
to me.
once situation's full, then critical bathroom theory goes out the door.
Right.
Just common sense comes
Right.
into play. But there's a reason the bathroom is so big. I mean, there's
Right.
there's 7 options here.
Right.
So now what's happened is I am here. There's someone in here, and this is not the position you want to be in because I'm getting this.
Right. Immediately to your right, you're getting sounds. You're getting
It
smells.
smells terrible. We all know it's there, but it is exceptionally bad right here
Right. It
in
wafts
this
out.
vicinity.
There's a positive pressure inside the
Yeah,
stall.
yeah.
Right.
And so, I'm just completely enraged by this situation.
Right.
Now, when you go, there was a Mythbusters about this. Do you remember? A lot of people they did a test without using video. I can't remember how they did it to see which stalls were the cleanest.
Okay.
And most people thought that this would be the cleanest,
And that's the dirtiest.
but
because
that's the
what most people
dirtiest
think.
because that's what most people think.
And it's a buffer to the urinal.
Right,
Right.
right. So I do always use this one.
The nearest stall.
Right. Hoping that the next person will use some freaking common sense
Right.
and go right here.
What stops you from using the far right?
Okay.
Is it just the
That's a
handicap?
great question. All right. There is the far right option of the handicapped stall. You know, a lot of people like that stall, but there's two things. All right, you run the risk of someone walking in and sighing,
And you just violated their civil
and
rights.
you just feel like, this guy's got to take a dump. I am fine. Also, the seat's sometimes a little elevated. I've been on some where I'm like a toddler and I'm kicking, and I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that.
Also, those stalls, for some reason, I feel like the gap between the door tends to be bigger.
It does.
I don't know
It
why they
does.
can't measure that
You know,
correctly.
I don't know why we have gaps, because in like England and Japan,
Right.
they just have all the
Oh,
way down to
yeah.
the floor bathrooms.
Right.
You know, what really sucks is when you start recognizing people's
Oh, no.
shoes.
The shoes, and if you make eye contact, even through the mirror.
At my old office, there was a guy that I think we were on the same schedule. But the crazy thing is anytime I went in there, he was in there taking a dump.
Yeah.
But even if I was peeing, he was still in there taking a dump. And I thought to myself, is that a pair of fake legs?
Some people just, if they're going to go in the bathroom, they're going to use the
I
facility.
guess.
You know?
I guess. It just seemed.
My work,
Yeah.
if I may, has a bathroom similar to this.
Right.
But in the hallway of the bathroom, there are 4 individual bathrooms,
Oh,
Yeah.
for the.
2 of which are wheelchair accessible.
See, but that just kind of puts you on stage there.
But there's no one, when there's no one at the office, like right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. There was at Harmon's there was one bathroom downstairs. It was one big bathroom.
Oh.
Sorry, not big. Well,
A bathroom.
one toilet seat,
Okay.
and there were several robust women, because that's all I worked with. It was just me and 27 other women.
Right.
And they would go in there and not take the jaunt up to the second floor, and they would rip it, man, and it would waft into our office, and I'm
Really?
like, oh,
It would get into the office space?
oh,
that's
yes.
unacceptable.
And did I tell you this? I can't remember. So right now at this particular bathroom, if I have to blast one, I go down the hall a little bit to the one on the other side of the building,
Sure.
because this one's door, it doesn't shut right.
Ah.
It has the stopper won't stay up,
Mm.
and we
Okay.
tape it up and someone rips it down, like the cleaners or something.
Freaking cleaners.
And so my first day here, I went in there, I took a dump, and the guy across the hall came in, pulled up the stopper and shut the door. And I was like, well, I'm never coming in here again.
Right. Right. You know, the shoe incident.
Yeah.
This is why I keep a pair of slippers at my desk. Hidden. They're hidden only for the bathroom. People always ask, "Are you changing your shoes?" Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Why? It's none of your business, man. All right? Don't look at my slippers.
You got to make, well, if anybody sees you with them, then
No, yeah.
then it's done,
I
and you got to
changed
get
them in
new
the
ones.
stall.
Maybe you should rotate
Hide them under my shirt. when I-
rotate shoes throughout the day.
Right.
Anyway, I just wanted to put this out here for people that are stupid and end up going here or here when they're all alone.
No, if you're alone, you go to a corner,
Corner, preferably
the nearest.
this one, because you know what? If I'm in here, I don't want to see your shoes right here.
No.
I don't want to see that,
No. Yeah.
because you're gonna see my shoes, and you're gonna, and obviously I do my best to hold off my most explosive
Right.
until they've left.
Right.
Which sometimes, like the other day, I had to give this guy kind of a warning because he was taking a little too long in the mirror.
Yeah.
So I was like, and then he got the point, and then after he left, it was
right. Yeah. It didn't stop echoing.
like,
for-
you don't want to be here for this, man. I'm
Right.
telling you. So you just, shoot one off the bow.
Right. Yeah.
Let him know what's about to happen.
This reminds me of the most inappropriate thing to do in a bathroom, in my opinion,
Yeah.
is burping.
Burping?
Yeah.
Why?
It's just weird to me. I've talked about this before, to burp in a bathroom.
Okay.
I was taking a pee, probably at the number 3 urinal. I think I was at the number 3.
Okay.
And someone was in the number 1 stall.
Okay.
And just belched.
Ugh.
And it scared me.
Well, You're right.
It scared me.
You're right. He might as well have taken a handgun and shot it up in the air. Bam! Ah!
An office pop. Yeah.
Have you ever
It scared me so bad, my pee hit the side, hit me in the eye.
have you ever yelped in the bathroom because you were scared?
No,
I feel like I have at least once because I didn't think someone was in there, and then it was a really like, ah! And then
That'd be so funny. If my fart caused someone to yelp, I don't think I could hold it together. If I farted and someone went, that's awesome. I can't believe you've actually done that.
and then have you ever laughed? I mean,
I've laughed. I'm sure I've laughed.
you
Yeah.
try not to. It's
Right.
not that it's not funny, but some days you're just in the right, and it's just
It's like giggling at a funeral. You just can't stop.
It's just
it
the way it happens. You're just like,
Right.
oh, good job,
Right.
way to go.
Nice out.
Oh,
All right.
anyway,
Thanks for that.
yeah. More next time. We get to play by play.
You should put this diagram up in the bathroom with numbers. Go here. If this one's full, go here.
That's what we should do. Like at the DMV, they tell you which window to go to.
Yeah.
You just form a little line outside in the hall.
Yeah.
Stall 1 is now available.
Take a number in
Yeah.
the hall. Please proceed to 1.
Number 7 to stall 1.
You missed your window. Now serving number 4.
You go up to the counter. I need to shit. I'm sorry. Did you take a number, sir? Yes. We already called it and I missed it. Well, sir, I'm going to have to ask you to take another number.
Yep. Go to the back.
Come back another day. Have you made an appointment?
By the way, there's an app, man.
Yeah.
Like, make an appointment on the app.
To go to the bathroom?
Yeah. It's the freaking DMV. Yeah, man. I
Oh.
like that. You should make this a shirt
Oh, that's a good idea.
with numbers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're right.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's next week's shirt.
Yeah.
I like that.
Have you ever, we've talked about the simulation theory many
Yes.
times here before.
Extensively.
And
And I spoke about it at work with
Oh,
with
really?
some guys at work because we were talking about religion.
yeah.
And I said, well, I mean, really, it's just the admin of the simulator sending down a.
Well, if you talk to a really religious person and you tell them about the simulation theory, they get like Scott, like, what? How dare you? That's sacrilege. And I'm like,
No, it's,
no. Tell me about your religion.
right.
God made us to come down and test us.
Right. No, so I brought up SimTown to my buds. I said, hey, we've all played SimTown
Sim City.
or SimTown was the original 1997 Windows 95 SimTown.
All right.
Regardless, I was like, we've all played SimTown, and immediately Connor cut me off. He's like, oh man, I totally used to box in people. I was like, there you go. The admins like to play tricks.
I would just put in the cheat codes and bring
Yeah.
in Tornado.
But it was, and that's what I said that, Elon Musk.
What year did you say it came out?
I had like 1997 is probably
95.
95.
You were yeah.
Yeah, the original SimTown, like planting grass by the pixel, man. But I was saying that Elon Musk is an admin in our simulation. He came down here just to have some fun, right?
Yeah.
But
That follows.
religions, like Joseph Smith saw God, like that was part of the sim. Like they sent it down.
Right.
Real to him, that's fine. But it's part of the sim. But what's this new? You have a new theory?
Well, most people think that in religion or the simulation theory that there's a couple different ways, but religion is, we're here to be tested. Simulation is either we're all in our own simulation or just one of us is real and the rest of us are all simulated.
Or Elon's theory, which is that there's reality and then sim upon sim upon sim upon sim. It's like a pyramid scheme, which is why he said the math would dictate that we're much more likely to be in a sim to be in the reality because there's only one reality.
Oh, and we would be in the reality.
If it's reality, we'd be in that one reality. If we're in a sim, we're one of the millions of sims that have been made.
Oh man.
Right. That's why. I mean, that's my understanding of what he was saying. I could be way off.
But I was thinking, looking at my life, what if I'm here because in a simulation as some sort of a punishment?
That actually falls in line with some religious
It's
philosophies.
true. But here's what made me think about this, right? You hear news stories. I think this particular one was about someone who went and broke a bunch of pelicans' wings or something,
Ew.
and or did something to
Is that a metaphor?
no, or people that hurt animals. I really it fills me with rage.
Right.
And I was like, what could be a punishment that is so horrific? And then you're like, well, they kill somebody's somebody's mom, then we have to kill their mom. I'm like, well, that's not really fair
Dude, wait.
to anybody, right? So the only fair way to really punish someone is to put them in a simulation and have them live out their life.
I'm having chills.
Yeah?
The Holy Ghost is telling me so. So the dude who wrote Minority, did you watch the Netflix thing? It's a movie about the simulation
I
theory.
realized that I started it, but I haven't finished it.
The dude who wrote Minority Report,
Uh-huh.
the author, was speaking in France to a group of fans and had basically a fucking manifesto
Oh, really?
about simulation and just went off. And the
Right.
fans didn't know what to make of it because he was also speaking through a translator. So, but remember in Minority Report, when he goes to the prison
Uh-huh.
and the prison guard, whatever, I don't, the guy that plays the organ for him, he's like, they look sleepy, but inside, busy, busy, busy. And I was like, that's why when you said that, I'm like, oh, well, shit, that's what it is. That's what it is. The next step for prisons is to be plugging you in freaking copper top.
And then maybe that's what we already are.
Right.
I don't know what I would have done. I don't know. Did divorce somebody or something? I don't know. Maybe I robbed a bunch of people.
Well, we have no idea what. I mean, you're working on the assumption that the morals in this simulation
That's
are the
true.
same as the morals
true.
out.
That's
you know?
true.
For all we know, you helped someone.
That's true.
And they're
well,
like, oh, fine, we're going to put you in a place where you're supposed to help people.
as punishment?
Yeah, this punishment. Because we know you won't. You're going to be the guy that stops a pay it forward in McDonald's drive-thru. I mean, doesn't that follow with most theologies, though? That if you're not good, your eternity
Well, yeah.
is a repeating
Right. That's
cycle of hell?
right. But in this theory, there's a sentence end, and
Sure.
then maybe you wake up and they're like, "Here's your wallet and and your keys and
The clothes you came in with?
the clothes you came in with." But it's only been like a day there.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
There's an episode of Star Trek, right? It's called The Inner Light. It
Yeah.
won a bunch of Emmys and stuff. It's a really good episode. And in it, Picard gets they encounter this probe, and he gets hit by some sort of a beam, and he just collapses on the bridge.
Okay.
And then he wakes up, and he's in this city, this small city, and he with a wife and a young child, and he's part of this community. And for a little bit, he's like, I don't understand. He doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But after a few days, he kind of accepts that what the memories of the ship, the Star Trek ship, the Enterprise, was actually a dream, and he's in his actual reality.
Shit, man.
And so he lives an entire lifetime. And
I'm going to have to watch this episode.
and he has kids, grandkids, and then he dies or the planet's destroyed. I can't remember, but anyway, then he wakes up, and it's only been like a few minutes or an hour. I can't remember since he passed out, because he wakes back up on the bridge.
On
They
the
haven't even.
bridge.
And
That would be so existentially devastating.
it was for him. Like it was a weird thing for him. Like he had all the memories, And the people who the race of aliens that did it because their planet was destroyed and they had the technology to it was like as a reminder to their civilization, like the story of their civilization, essentially.
Like a VR.
Yeah,
Like
essentially.
you can go back and watch.
Right. And
Man,
he brings back, like, because when he was there, he learned to play this flute. And so
Get
he has
out.
a song that his son taught him that he plays, and it's interesting.
I mean, I've definitely had dreams that evoked emotion,
Right.
not just in the dream, like later in the day.
I have
I'll
too,
I'll
yeah.
think about it, you know? Maybe it's about someone who passed or just something generally.
Right.
That's interesting. I see where you're going with this, though. In some generation of our criminal justice system, you get plugged in for 5 minutes, and that 5 minutes is a lifetime to teach you how to behave.
I mean, and wouldn't that be better than what we do now?
Absolutely.
How
Certainly be
if
cheaper.
you kept all your memories of everything that had happened
Yeah.
in your punishment,
Yeah.
then you would be a completely different person.
Yeah.
You'd have a lot more empathy.
Right.
And yeah, it's just interesting, right?
It's totally, you know, there's probably like a 99% chance that's what's happening right now.
I hope so. That'd be pretty sick.
Like, and it just happens in the courtroom.
Well, I just hope in my
Like you wake up in the courtroom.
yeah. Maybe it's like the Hindu religion. You get reborn.
Yeah.
So maybe one of the punishments is like being a cricket or something.
Yeah.
They're like,
So I've never gone into this in the show personally, but my personal beliefs are leading me down a path of like more of a reincarnation style consciousness, like it's just a big pool of consciousness, right?
yeah.
Like I don't know how to explain it yet because I don't know it, but that's just kind of where I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, it is it's a very interesting concept, and I do think that religious people blow off simulations like it's absurd,
no, this is a
and it's exactly the same thing that they believe.
right. We're gonna send you down there. Well, what am I gonna be? Well, you'll be in a carbon sleeve.
We're gonna put you in a body.
Yeah, it's in a body. Like what we call it a body,
Yeah.
quote unquote. Yeah, it's what it is.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting. Because there's some stuff you can't like, even some simple stuff like deja vu, man.
That's true. I mean, I know that there are theories for it. Not a lot of good ones, but
I mean, the brain.
it is the freaking weirdest thing, though.
Right.
I hate it.
And
I
there's
really.
there's like levels
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
of deja vu. There's some where you're like, oh, this seems
This is familiar, and
familiar.
there's like, I have done this before.
right. I knew you
I've
were gonna
had-
say that.
That has
Yeah.
happened to me so many times, and I'm like,
Like, there's gonna
did
be
I
a day.
dream this? What?
I feel like I'm gonna have a deja vu one day where I literally like dodge a fist or a bullet because of the deja vu. Right?
Oh, that'd be crazy.
I'll be like, whoa, and they'll be like, how'd you do that? I'm like, fucking deja vu, man.
simulation.
It's a simulation. I'm always one step
I
ahead.
pay homage and tithing to the simulator.
The admin.
Yeah.
His name's Joe.
Oh
Man, that got me thinking. We might need to pause the show. Like,
Well, the next topic is going to really make you think. It's one of our favorite things to talk about, and that's trans people in athletics.
okay, I want to go there, but what's this excuse generator you have?
Oh, we could save that for
okay,
the end.
we'll save that. So Trans Olympics.
So, have you heard about
There's a lot of stuff going on right now in the Olympic trials.
right?
Yeah.
So, let's see here. Where's the newest
To
one?
give you a baseline of my understanding,
Uh-huh.
if you are competing in a female sport,
Uh-huh.
your testosterone levels have to be below a certain amount for 12 straight months.
Right.
Because there is that woman, I forget her name, who was born a female but has abnormally high testosterone,
Oh,
who
right.
they're not letting compete.
Right.
Which I understand, but I'm also like, well, wait a second. You know, we've talked about should we cut the webbed toes on some swimmers? You know, like how far are we taking this?
Right.
You know, like if you're in the NBA, sorry, if you're over 6'10", you can't play.
Right.
Like where I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
So the Laurel Hubbard, she's from New Zealand, and she transitioned in 2004. and she was approved to be in the weightlifting.
Well, it's always going to be okay one way, right? For sports.
What do you mean? Sorry.
If you I'm so sorry. I was thinking about this wrong. So Laurel was born a man.
Right.
Okay. No, I was thinking of the other way.
No. So she competed as a weightlifter as a man,
Okay.
and now is going to the Olympics as a female.
Okay.
And you might be surprised, but has caused a bit of a kerfuffle.
You think? I just Googled her here on the screen. Petition highlights debate on transgender athletes at Olympics. Tokyo Olympics backlash against Laurel Hubbard. Laurel Hubbard suffers testicle injury ahead of Tokyo. That one doesn't play a role. But anyway.
I want to look how, okay.
So she's not fully transitioned.
She's not?
Well,
Oh.
she has a testicle injury.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh.
So, whatever your definition of fully is.
Huh.
I don't know. Anyway.
So, I don't know. I just guess I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Looking at her record, it's good.
Does it destroy the other women?
Not necessarily, but it's good. She has several golds from not Olympic golds, but
Sure, world champions.
Sure.
Or other
there's a Polynesian something or other that she competed in that she beat.
Yeah.
I mean, Polynesian women are typically there's a lot of
right.
big, strong.
Yes.
And she crushed them.
So I'm going to pull out an Adam Conover on you. I had to think of his name. That's why I Googled that real quick. Because he was on Joe Rogan. He talked about this a little bit, and I watched the clip. Joe is opposed to this.
Right.
On its surface. He's not really like a dickhead about it. But he had Adam on his show. Adam Ruins Everything. Right?
Oh, right. Okay.
And Adam said, look, I don't know what the answer is.
Right.
I just know that this is the way the world is going, so we're going to have to figure it out.
That's true.
So this rule that the Olympics made of testosterone levels below a certain level for 12 months straight. Okay, that's a start. I see that as a start to solving this dilemma.
Right.
Right? We're at the very beginning of a very difficult dilemma in sports to figure out how we can do this because it's not going to go away.
Right. And really what happens at these Olympics with Laurel?
Yeah.
Will probably influence things one way or the other.
Yeah, if she cleans up and wins,
that's going to be a problem.
It's going to be a problem.
That's going to be a problem for her and the community. Right. I hope that she kind of knows that going in, because if she has the chip on her shoulder, I need to prove something, it's going to backfire in a huge way.
Athletes are just they're programmed to win.
Oh, I know. It's not like you can go in there and
I'm gonna get
unless you're the Jazz, then you can go in there and just
dude, don't
just
bring
quit
it up.
at the end.
Don't bring it up, man. It hurts so bad.
But
what do you think?
The testosterone thing makes it a little better for me, but I think what I think is going to depend on the results of this Olympics. If she does clean house, then I'm going to be like,
well,
I don't know, man.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe we should have Ethan on, the doctor. My understanding is that men are born with just more volume of muscle upper body.
Yes.
So as a weightlifter, what is she? Is she doing a particular? Is she doing deadlifts or whatever? Whatever. Either way, there is obviously a lot of lower body, legs and abs and stuff, but upper body. It's my understanding that men are born with just more mass there.
Right.
So controlling the testosterone might not be enough if that's the direction we're going to go with how to deal with this.
Right.
Aside from their own games.
Yeah.
Which is what you put here on the rundown. But
that That's gonna put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
No, it's kind of like when like when Oscar Pistorius ran.
Right.
With no legs, and there were people who even complained about that, saying he has no calf muscles to fatigue. We're like, okay, yeah, but I mean, he's not just doing he's not not doing just stair lifts.
Right.
He's running,
It is, but I don't know. I could, from an athlete's point of view, if I had pushed and worked super hard, because obviously you have to be in the Olympics. Like, it's your job, it's your life,
right?
For the most part. And someone just came in.
Well, let's look at it.
I don't know.
Let's look at it this way. All right. Let's say the dunk contest, albeit mostly for show.
Right.
Just consider that for a second.
Okay.
Dwight Howard is 7 feet tall, I think, maybe 7'1", and he was competing against Nate Robinson, who I believe is 5'9". Let's look.
He's not the.
Nate Robinson, he won it twice. 5'9". He's 5'9". Dwight Howard is, just to get it right, is 6'10".
I appreciate this analogy, but it's a competition based on style, not so much sheer.
Dwight won it though.
Oh, did he?
I don't know when he's won it before, I'm pretty sure. I don't know when he beat Nate Robinson. But do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
It's much more of a feat to be able to jump when you're 5'9", and that's my size.
Uh-huh.
To dunk up. I can't even touch the bottom of the net.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, I mean.
So if the competition was vertical leap ability, then Nate would win. If the competition was how high can you touch, then Dwight would win.
Right.
So there's always going to be what appears as an athlete to be an unfair advantage, right?
I mean, yeah.
Even the way
to a certain extent. I mean,
you only have to watch one race of Michael Phelps to see how much longer he stays underwater doing the dolphin kick.
Right.
Like, I feel like they're going to make a rule about that eventually. Like, you have to come up before the halfway point of the pool. Because there were times where he would go 25 meters underwater before he would ever start stroking. And it was crazy.
Sorry, I just Googled strongest woman in the world, and something kind of disturbing came up.
So I at the end of the day, I think I'm just happy with any amount of progress at all. So if she gets in, well, she's in. If she cleans up and it creates a controversy, hopefully that leads to a solution.
That's true.
Right? If she goes and she comes in third or loses altogether, well, there's your example.
Right.
Of that it's not necessarily this giant benefit.
I mean,
it's just really hard.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard to say what's unfair and what's not. Was it unfair that the Bulls had Michael Jordan? Right? Well, no, because he practiced more than everybody. I think you could just go any direction with sports, and it's really hard. Perhaps we just need to meld the two together. It'd be interesting to know what the difference is between male weight and female weight records. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, let me just I'll just hurry and do it real quick. Female deadlift record. Female deadlift record is 683 pounds. Male deadlift record is 1,100 pounds. That's almost double. 40% more.
I mean,
that's a deadlift, but which is actually a lot of legs. I'm really surprised it's that.
Well, yeah.
It's legs and back, right?
For deadlift?
Yeah,
of course. I mean,
so there's not even any upper body there.
I mean, yeah, but no.
So that I mean, not as relatively, right?
Right.
So that one comes down to maybe it is testosterone. It's really interesting.
I mean, was it fair that the Clippers had Patrick Beverly? score 39 points.
Terrence Mann.
Oh, Terrence Mann. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
No, it's not fair. It's not fair. Okay.
I don't know. I think that will be the most interesting story out of these Olympics because it sounds like they're going to be pretty boring because there's not going to be any spectators or.
Well, a lot of people aren't going.
What is with Japan? What is with Japan? They had some of the lowest case rates. They seem to manage it really well, and now their vaccination rate is some of the lowest in the world.
Probably because it went okay. You know?
Oh,
But
they're still
have you-
under lockdown and stuff there. They're
Right.
still.
I think they're super scared about the Olympics. So maybe it's probably a little not overkill, but they're going, they're in high gear
Well,
because of the Olympics.
Yeah, but but so what's with them and not being vaccinated?
I don't know.
I
don't
mean,
know.
they have the means to do it.
Do they?
Yeah, from what I understand. I mean,
I don't know, man. Even in the States, have you seen the warnings lately about the Delta variant?
yeah.
Like that we're going to have severe hot spots.
Well, I'm sure. I
Like-
don't. This is gonna. I don't know. I'm kind of like I'm ready to be a little bit done with it.
Of course.
I mean, everybody is.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not the only person. I'm the one person that's like, you know what?
I'm so sick of this. What are you talking about? I have
That reminds me. There was a commercial the other day for some. I think it was Microsoft Teams, and it was this bike shop, and they're like, we were doing really killer business, and then the coronavirus hit, and we tanked, and I was like, I hadn't heard of the coronavirus affecting any businesses. I didn't.
Yeah.
I did. Was there any further explanation needed in that commercial?
Right.
Like, yes, we get it.
I mean, this is.
I
I think Darwin would be excited right now because you're legitimately seeing it in the United States. There's every single COVID death is preventable now
yeah.
because
And
everyone has access to a vaccine.
I think we just need to get back to normal. Like
Yeah.
I don't think.
But when Mississippi
Uh-huh.
is at 50% have one dose,
Right.
not even close to what a herd immunity number would need to be.
Right.
Especially for the Delta variant, which is more likely to hospitalize you.
Mm-hmm.
18 to 24-year-olds not getting vaccinated,
Yeah. I don't.
right? So there we have a whole generation right there in some states that could get sick. And with one that's really shitty, like it's worse. And the problem isn't that those people get sick and die. That is problem number one. Problem number two is the longer this virus has the ability to mutate,
Mm-hmm.
the more likely it is that the vaccines we've received will not be effective. They're already saying that people with Johnson & Johnson might need a booster
Well, yeah.
for the Delta variant.
Johnson & Johnson is like it's like the Southwest Airlines of it's the Spirit Airlines
But
of vaccines.
If we were at 100%,
it's the Walmart
even
of
Johnson &
vaccines.
Johnson,
Yeah.
the virus would not have the opportunity to mutate to a more lethal or a form that is more effective against the vaccine.
So that just poses the question: is this just going to be like the flu? We just have it forever now?
I think that's what. I don't think anyone wants to say that.
But that's how the flu is. There's
Yep.
variants, and they make a vaccine every year, and they kind of roll the dice on what is going to be the prominent.
They do their best guess
variant.
on what the variant will be.
And I mean, since herd immunity at this point seems, I don't know.
Not in the entire United States, for sure. No, there are some states that are there,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter as long as we have free travel between states. You know,
Right.
So-
Right.
it's it should just be a law. It should just be mandatory.
Just do it. Just get vaccinated.
Have you not seen enough people vaccinated yet? You know what I mean? If you think that there's something wrong with the vaccine,
Wouldn't we?
wouldn't you know by now?
I mean, it's been like what, 4 or 5 months.
Like, wouldn't we be slurring our words,
Yeah.
stuff like that? Like, you think it's time delayed? Like, how deep are we going in the
the
conspiracy
microchip
here?
doesn't appear until
Herd
a year
immunity.
later. Yeah. Once we hit herd immunity, beep 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 beep
Bill
beep. beep.
Gates has a giant red button with a ticker above it, and the ticker is the percentage.
Uh huh.
Once we get to herd immunity, whatever that is, 78.8%. He hits the big red button. Everybody's activated, and it's like, what's that show, man? Kingsman.
Oh yeah.
Remember the SIM card
Heads
thing?
explode.
Yeah.
I think the best defense was the TikTok of this former soldier that's like, I don't know how they're gonna make a microchip because we had all this GPS equipment in Iraq and it didn't work and it was the size of our truck and so
There's another one about the military who's like, anybody who's afraid, don't join the military.
Right.
They don't even give you a choice.
yeah.
You just walk in a line and you get stuck like 10 times.
This might turn you into walrus, but we're willing to take that risk.
Yeah,
We're
for sure.
willing to
Sick of
roll the
talking
dice.
about it. Just go get it, man. Stop letting it mutate, because it, like I said, is Darwin, man. Like, it's real time, in real time. Especially if it's these 18 to 24-year-olds.
Real Time Darwin. That's a good name for a
That
band.
is true. That's a good one.
They're gonna be at Warped Tour.
But think about it, right?
So
The
are
concept behind Darwin is that if you are less good at something, you're less likely to breed and or survive long enough to breed.
well,
So if you're 18 to 24 not getting the vaccination,
right, and you die.
it's real
so
time.
it's only gonna be millennials left.
No, it's old people, millennials, and then kids. Only in some states.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think you've seen the movie Mediocrity, right? Or Idiocracy?
No.
Really?
I know.
Oh.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's
But yes.
it's a total comedy. It's a terrible movie, but at the same time you're like, "Oh, this is definitely going to happen."
yeah. Yeah. So I don't often talk negatively about Mormons on the show.
You mean you can't say the M word. That's
Well,
as bad
that's
as the
just
N
what
word
people
now.
know. Okay. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. However, some news broke this last week that was very, very interesting.
Mm.
The church partnered with the NAACP to try and overcome their past racism.
That has been brought to light quite effectively through Twitter TikTok
Right.
and Twitter campaigns.
The problem is in Mormon scripture there is still racist
Right.
philosophies. So as much as you say you're sorry, until you get rid of those verses, you're going to have a problem. But that's neither here nor there. So the church partners with the NAACP. They have a giant press conference about this partnership, okay? They have decided to donate $2 million per year for the next 3 years to encourage service and help to those in need among the black community.
How much?
$2 million per year for the next 3 years. $6 million.
Wow.
The Latter-day Saints have
Wha-
committed.
wow.
I know. Committed to fund a $1 million scholarship
Oh.
donation per year for 3 years. Wow. And finally, the church will donate $250,000
Oh.
to create the Amos C. Brown Student Fellowship to Ghana. It's a lot of money in Ghana, sure. All right. Just did some quick math, though.
Okay.
We know the church has one account, one single account with $100 billion in it. Liquid.
That we know of.
They could withdraw the cash now. It's not an asset, it's liquid. That's one that we know about. So let's just go with that for a second, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I took the $250,000 out of the math because it's stupid. But the $6 million and the $3 million, $9 million over 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
That's not even Mitt Romney's tithing.
No. $9 million is 0.009% of that $100 billion.
Wow.
Okay? So I wanted to know.
Well, Jesus is going to need it to help the meek and the weak and
Right.
impoverished and
So I just wanted to know what that looked like for me.
uh-huh.
So I said, let's pretend that my net worth is $100,000.
Okay.
It's actually might be close based on the equity of my home,
Mm-hmm.
right? Other retirement funds, that kind of thing. Let's just
Oh.
say it's $100,000.
You have a retirement? I'm really counting on the lottery for that.
Right.
So.
So I think it's fair. Go with $100,000, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If my net worth is $100,000, it's the equivalent of me donating $9.
Oh, that'll get somebody through college.
$9. This isn't the best part, though.
Mm-hmm.
The best part is that they had a giant press conference to show the world that they're partnering with the NAACP, donating $9,250,000 to black causes, right?
Hey, wait. You would be giving $9.25.
Yeah.
Okay.
The next day or two, later that week, the press leaks that the church has bought a hotel in Maui for $148 million.
A hotel?
A hotel.
Why?
They're probably because they're colonizing it. I don't know. I have no idea. The church owns a lot of Hawaii already.
Do they?
Yes, and by the way, they own 2% of Florida.
Really?
Yeah. They outbid Bill Gates for farmland for $200 million on another purchase that was leaked to the press. My point is they had this giant press conference for this $9 million partnership with the NAACP, but then behind the scenes, they write a check for $148 million to buy a hotel in Maui and $200 million to buy this farmland to outbid Bill Gates, who is the largest landowner, by the way. Now.
Really?
Yeah.
What does he do with it?
He farms.
Huh.
Yeah, he owns so much land, man. He just farmland.
Huh.
So, that's my 2 cents on the church recently.
Church buys Washington Ranch and Hawaii Hotel.
You don't have to get me going more.
Wait, it's a Marriott hotel? Don't they pretty much already have dibs on that? I mean,
they bought it from themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Marriotts are well known
Right.
LDS people. They put a Book of Mormon instead of a Bible.
Do they really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that. The Gideons?
You never stayed at a Marriott? No.
I don't know.
Yeah, they put in a.
This Book of Mormon is placed here by the Gideons?
Yeah.
Interesting. Ethiopia. Have you been following this?
No. Well, I have watched a show called Ethiopian Hoarders.
Ethiopian hoarders.
I don't know how it got like this.
There's just a paper on the floor.
It's awful.
I know.
Terrible. So we talked on the last show, and I think the show before that, about Israel and Palestine.
Oh, yeah, I remember them.
It's a big deal. Sure.
No, it's not in the news anymore, so it's not a problem.
It's a big deal. There was it seemed like war crimes. It was a bullshit fight on both sides. We get it, right?
Right.
Hamas has some problems. They need to back off, but Israel also needs to.
Well, they got rid of Netanyahu.
They did get rid of Netanyahu.
That's kind of crazy.
But I was listening to the radio and heard about this civil war in Ethiopia and realized that I knew nothing about it, and I immediately felt like shit because I know so much about Israel and Palestine. So I thought I would take this little platform we have and tell people about what's going on in Ethiopia, if you're okay with that.
No, I'm sorry.
So they are trying to have a democracy. Okay, they've had elections, but they have a prime minister. His name is Abiy Ahmed. And in northern Ethiopia,
Sounds like a terrorist from 24.
It does, man. I'll put this up real quick. In northern Ethiopia, there is a region known as the Tigray region, or Tigray. I don't know how to say it. It actually looks very small, kind of the way that Gaza looks. And it's bordered by Eritrea, the country.
There's a country named Eritrea?
Yeah.
Okay.
North of Ethiopia.
Wow.
Ethiopia is Africa's second most populous country with 115 million people. Wow. It's a lot of people. It's also the oldest country in the world, by the way.
Huh.
For some reason, the prime minister does not like the politics that are coming out of Tigray. So it is it's like, what is it called? The something Liberation Front is the name of the Tigray People's Liberation Front is a terrorist group, according to the New York Times here. And there have been reports of thousands of ethnic Tigrayans around Ethiopia. But what's happened is the prime minister sent some militias up there to snuff them out.
Oh.
Erupted in violence. the fighting has displaced 1.7 million people from their homes, and more than 63,000 have fled to Sudan, okay, which is northwest. So they haven't gone to Eritrea, they've just gone to Sudan.
Right.
More than 5 million people in Tigray's population urgently need assistance. The soldiers that the prime minister sent up there are not just killing people, they're committing awful crimes, rapes, just terrible. And it's interesting to me that we just don't hear about it. I know that we're manipulated. I know that.
Right.
But it's just disappointing when it's at this level. You know?
Well, I think I don't know.
Like
what do you think about U.S. or helping or?
Well, we clearly do it
Right.
when we want to.
That's what I mean. Like, there's no interest for us down there.
But some would make the argument that there was no interest in Libya,
Well, yeah.
right?
Or Vietnam.
Or Vietnam, but Obama
Or Iraq or Afghanistan
Obama launched missiles into Libya during the Arab Spring.
or Korea.
I mean, we knew about Syria. We knew about the people being displaced from Syria and the tent cities in Turkey because of that. And them going, the boats trying to get to, was it Greece?
Mm-hmm.
We know about that.
Right.
But why, this is a New York Times article, sure. But it's certainly not flooding the feed,
Yeah.
so to speak. But you bring up an interesting point, which I've talked with a few people, and that is a fundamental disagreement that people have.
Whether we should.
What
help
is
or not.
America's responsibility as a world power?
Some would say the world's only superpower, which is kind of true.
Kind of.
Our military is huge.
It is.
It's bigger than anybody's.
By a lot. It's like our military is bigger than the next 12 countries combined.
Yes.
Yeah. But in terms of...
Actually, I don't know if that's true. It's military spending.
That's true. The population, we should clarify. Military spending is more than the next 12
I think
countries
that China
combined.
may have more soldiers, but we
Yes.
definitely have more planes and stuff than they do.
They definitely have more soldiers.
Yeah.
Russia's still a player,
Mhm.
right, in the Middle East, at least. So China definitely, I don't know. I've gone back and forth on this issue. Where are you?
Well, based on all the other instances we have been involved in since Vietnam, since World War II, really, I would say it might be in their people's best interest for us not to get
For us
involved.
to stay out?
Because we really haven't. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely off base here, but have we done a lot of good in the world since World War II?
I mean, it's a tough blanket.
I know that's kind of a blanket, and I know that we've done. I mean, there was definitely stuff we did, good things we did in Vietnam. There's good things we did in Iraq and Afghanistan, but you also there's millions of civilians that have died, and
it's hard. It would be hard for me to. I'm open-minded.
I mean,
but it would be hard for me to listen to any argument about things that we did good in Korea or Vietnam.
Well, we did bring Vietnamese people here, didn't we? Some of them.
Yeah, but we caused it.
I know.
Iraq is probably, with the exception of if you value American life more than any other, then that one's gone better.
Like
unquote.
if you're putting together, you're a marketing team for the U.S. military engagements.
Yeah.
You're going to do a lot of showcasing of World War II, and then
skip over.
It'll
the
just be
50s
we've
and
also
60s and
been in
70s.
Vietnam, and don't
Right.
really say what happened there.
In our most recent conflict, only 3,000 soldiers died.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you value life at the same level, we've killed millions of Iraqis and Afghanis.
Right.
So you're right.
Maybe it's more about figuring out a way to help without bringing the because when we come, we come.
Right.
We don't, even if they just send planes,
Right.
our planes are.
Yeah. It doesn't. Nothing else matters.
I
Yeah.
doubt that they
Even
even
the-
have an air force,
No, even-
and if they did, it wouldn't matter.
I mean, even just tomahawks, man.
Yeah.
We could send a ship out there next to Yemen, and
You
just
know,
tomahawk 'em.
It's kind of you know what else though. Not to go back to Star Trek, but aliens in Star Trek, they have the their number one rule, the Prime Directive.
From the Federation.
Yeah, and that's a do not interfere policy with anything, and
Which was like, isn't every episode kind of about that dilemma?
no, it is.
Yeah.
There are a lot of episodes about.
I'm not talking crap. I'm
No,
just
no,
saying,
no.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But the dilemmas come up
Right.
where there's a civilization in a world that's underdeveloped that they could save, but they don't
Yeah.
because they need to let nature play out its course. Because what happens when that civilization does progress, and then they wipe out other civilizations,
Mm-hmm.
and then who's to blame?
Which is actually true. This happened.
Right,
We helped Afghanistan beat Russia,
right.
and in return, a couple decades later, they flew planes into our buildings.
Well, that was actually. I don't think any Afghans did that at all.
You're right. You're right. But the Taliban, housed in Afghanistan,
Okay.
provided support.
Yes.
You're right. They were all
Weren't they?
they were all Saudis.
Yeah.
which we haven't done anything
we haven't
to
done
them.
it. We're still cool with them.
Fuck. So I will say, okay, I have a point.
Uh-huh.
I have something. Every time we've intervened, we've given weapons and fought
Right.
to try and change the order, to try and change them to democracy, right? Korea and Vietnam, we were afraid of communism spreading. We wanted to change them to democracy. Even in Iraq, remember the purple thumbs
Yeah.
or fingers when they voted?
Yeah.
We always try and change people to democracy. I've come to the realization that not everybody wants democracy. Some people are okay to be ruled,
It's just, honestly, this is gonna sound weird, but if you were able to find the perfect leader,
Right.
then okay,
Right. Right.
But that's impossible.
Right.
It's near impossible to find one that would actually work for everybody
Right.
and not have their own interests at heart.
Or you can't have even if they had no self-interest, you can't
You
satisfy
You can't. Yeah.
That is
there's-
everyone-
It's
yeah.
still they're still gonna have
because
views.
there are people who still want gay people to die.
Right.
So, okay.
Right.
Um,
So but I do. I do understand. I understand what you're saying. That is factual. That some people. I don't know if it's whether it's just what they're used to, and
Right.
and that it just seems to work for them.
well, even Iraq, man, they certainly celebrated when we killed Saddam,
Yeah.
but they quickly realized the stabilization that he brought.
Right.
Now, it was through killing his opposition,
Right.
but it was stable. So what if the mindset shifted to, we don't care what you guys do, we're just going to come in there and take all of your weapons,
Well,
right?
from both sides.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, then they're just gonna use sticks.
But at least then we could stand between them with guns.
That would be great, but that's not possible. Some other country would swoop in and sell guns. Russia, China, any of their next door neighbors.
You're right.
We can't police the world like
I'm
that.
being idealist.
That's like
But the problem is we have to, and we can look at Syria as an example. Even the South Vietnamese didn't necessarily do good things, but look at Syria. We don't know who to kill.
Well, then that would be my other point is, in this civil war, whose side do you take?
Right.
I'm sure there is a side that probably,
It's almost like
but whichever side we pick would be a side that more associates with our values. And
Right.
who's to say that is the right side?
right.
During World War II, the Germans were clearly in the wrong, but they didn't see it that way.
Right.
You know, I mean, we've talked about that tons.
Sure.
Some of them did, and what have you. But you know, the Japanese, they didn't see it that way. So that's you pick one side and then you hope for the best, and that's kind of I don't know, man. That Star Trek, the Prime Directive, it starts to make a lot of sense occasionally, and
It's true.
and it is, you know, it's terrible,
And I think the United States has done better at that.
right?
But let's take Yemen, for example.
Mm-hmm.
They had a massive civil war, massive famine. Anytime the UN or WHO tried to get food in there, it was stolen.
Right.
So let's say, okay, we don't want to intervene. We just want to make sure innocent people don't die.
Yeah.
And and then one side stops us from doing that, or both sides.
Right.
What do we do then?
Well, then I guess we have to
You know,
continue our work. And
but I guess that's the
put-
prime directive is you wouldn't even give them food.
Yeah. I guess if we were going to do anything in these situations, maybe just if people wanted to get out, we could take them and move them to a country where
Which is what we did with the Jews.
and that's panned out
It's
so
working
well.
out well.
You know, but in fairness, despite Gaza, it actually the Israel is it's a world power. They've got nuclear weapons, they've got a huge army, a
we
huge
gave
air
it
force.
to them.
Regardless, they are somewhat of a success story. So is Japan.
So we should be forcing, if we're going to use our might,
Yeah.
it should be to force other countries to take more refugees.
I don't like that, but
It's tough. I mean, for one, you know how I feel about this. I think that our borders should be open to any refugee. And right now we have it capped. at,
Right.
Like some fucking stupid no, it's like 65,000 per year. Meanwhile, 1.6 million are displaced in Ethiopia, 2 million are displaced in Syria. Like, and not to mention all of Central America that's at war, you know?
it's I don't know. It's an incredibly when you actually it's and this is terrible, but if you don't put it out of your mind, it may drive you crazy
I know.
because the answer to these questions there's not really a good one.
I don't see, like, back to refugees and immigration just generally, you know? A belief I've held for years is essentially amnesty. Document people, give them a social security number, fingerprint them. You can keep them on a shorter leash if you want. But if they're immigrants or refugees, right?
Mhm.
What's the problem? I mean, we could. I'm certainly open to entertaining the argument of infrastructure, that we don't have enough resources to sustain people. I mean, if you've never been to the West or the prairie, then I think that's misguided. You know,
Well, we don't have a lot of water out here.
out
It is
here
kind of a problem.
in the desert, but go to the
Like Detroit. Why
Go to
can't we figure out a way to just start funneling flood water
Right.
to other places?
I just want people to put yourself in someone else's shoes. Imagine if January 6th spiraled and we were in a civil war,
right.
and you said, "I don't want any fucking part of this."
Mm-hmm.
And you went to Canada or Mexico
Australia.
or Australia and they said no,
I guess I'd have to sneak in.
right? You go to the border of Canada and they say no. And so there's a tent city right there on the border of Canada and America because Canada won't let people in. Like, people, we need to humanize refugees is my point. If January 6th turned into a civil war in your backyard where you thought your kids, your grandparents, your family were in danger, and you said, "Fuck it, I'm leaving."
Right.
But the people you go to for help say no.
Well, you know, the nice thing is that most other countries are way better than America as far as that stuff goes.
You know, it's like watching Handmaid's Tale.
You're forgetting we're white.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like if you watch Handmaid's Tale and you're like, okay, you know, Canada is acting as the country that takes in all the American refugees.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's remake Handmaid's Tale, and where Canada says no.
Right?
Like, that's what's happening,
No.
right? We understand that literally 50 feet away from here, you might be kidnapped, you might be raped, you might be murdered. But, sorry, you know. Like it's bullshit, and you're absolutely right that if you let it consume you, nothing else matters.
I mean, the problem is that every scenario has a downside, and you know, Trump said, you know, he pushed the whole they're rapists and they're coming to kill, and that's, you know, that's not happening, but it does happen.
Sure.
You know, and so you get it's hard to say, okay, let's let in everything, and then bad things start happening, but then what do? You kick them out, you ship them back to where they. I mean,
right.
I don't know, man.
That's what we're doing now. You know,
Prime Directive.
it's what we're doing now.
We need to.
But okay, let me ask you a question about the Prime Directive.
Huh?
Do
they break it all the time?
If another species asked for asylum,
they give it to them.
They give it to them.
Uh-huh.
That's the difference.
They do.
Right?
Uh-huh.
If hypothetically,
yeah,
let's take this. Mexico's in a state
They also have like tons of worlds in the Federation.
Let's say Mexico's in a state of civil war, and 10 million people are refugees from the war, and we bring them all in. Once you have no people in a land, it really has no value anymore. Right?
Right.
So a solution could be let everybody in, let the people who are fighting continue to fight until they're done and realize there's nothing to fight for anymore.
Flip it. New drapes, new paint, and
you let the people who want to kill each other.
Right.
The refugees, the civilians in Iraq that we killed. It's the same thing.
Right.
Right? Like, a lot of them didn't have a chance. They didn't have a chance to run.
Right.
I can't remember. I think before shock and awe we dropped leaflets that said, "We're going to bomb this city. Sorry if you don't have means, but you might want to start running." I
might
guess.
want to dig a hole.
Yeah, like find a spot and stay there and hope for the best. You know. Anyway, I'm sorry.
I don't know. It's tricky because, you know, we're here in this country, and you do look at countries like Ethiopia, and you realize that even though we had a not great president for 4 years and we had this revolution, it's still actually pretty great here, and
absolutely.
And not just here, but here, England, Germany, Japan.
I mean, Ethiopia has, I feel like, been in strife my whole life.
Well, like,
you know what I mean?
Most of Africa, the African countries have had tons of issues. I mean,
I don't
they're right
understand
next to Somalia. They have all sorts of problems. Uganda has had problems. Where did
but the
where
fact
did
that 115 million people live in
Sudan? Doesn't Sudan have problems? Where did that one movie take place with Iron Man's buddy? Sorry, Hotel Rwanda. Oh,
Rwanda.
Where's Rwanda at? That was also a.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's a country.
Yeah, it's a country. That one, the states did get a lot of shit for not helping. You know, I don't know.
It's I don't know.
We should go work for the State Department.
If
and try
we
and figure it out.
If we started building spaceships, you know, with warp speed, we could just take all the people and send them to a better planet.
I'm sure that some
or we could go to a better planet.
I'm sure that somewhere like a mathematician or a sociologist has done the math to figure out if America could sustain another 200 million people. You know, like we're gonna have to. The Earth's population has doubled since like 1970.
It should really stop.
And it's not stopping. Go to Worldometers, you can see.
Really needs to.
Like the population growth is astounding, and it's not slowing down. So, anyway, let's take a break.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you know what we should do during this break? I don't know if you can do it in time.
Huh?
We should play our new song.
Oh yeah.
This song is called "A Different Side of Me" by our band, of course, Rejected Takeoff. streaming on all platforms.
All platforms.
But you can get I don't know, is if there's a free, it's a free listen. You don't
Is
have
it?
to pay. If
Do you?
If you listen here,
Oh, that's true. I see what
you know,
you're
we
saying.
could put an ad in front of it.
This is brought to you by the letter C
We-
for
Go visit the Scary Parrot Media store on Etsy. It's good shit.
All right, when we come back, I don't know what to play music-wise right now.
Well, that's what I was saying. If you have the time,
I've got it right here.
go ahead and play it. Well, you don't have to start it.
I mean, it
Don't-
just
don't start
starts
it.
It's too late. I just did.
Okay. Well, this is it. We'll be back in a minute.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Debut.
Stuff when we come back.
Yeah. unexpected. Free at last, but I'm always rejected.
Static tears, it's arresting, manifesting, always testing what is clear. More than massive shadows pass, blocking everything that lasts. Is projecting and deflecting and dissecting all I ask. These racing thoughts, all fueled by rage, are scribbled down, scratched on a page. On modern life, thrown on a stage. Can we all break free from our cage?
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you these random headlines.
Sorry.
Hey, we hope you guys enjoyed the debut of
I believe it's
Different
pronounced
Side of
debut.
Debut. Yeah. Hey, I haven't showed you. I haven't shown you these. Look at these.
What's that?
I got us some stickers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you put a QR code on them?
No, but I do have QR codes down here. I have these too still.
Oh, yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube, scan that shit right now.
That's why I want to start playing
Scan it.
rejected takeoff shows. We can throw out stress balls or something with
Right.
QR codes to all the music and
Yep.
shows and all the stuff that we do.
So I'm gonna start putting these around town, just everywhere. You know?
No, I just don't go anywhere anymore. So
No, drive-throughs, right? In between paying and getting your food, just slap it on the brick.
all right,
Yeah, just do your thing, man.
that's a good idea.
Anyway,
I'll put it on this mug.
to that point,
Yeah,
if people listening, we have loyal listeners.
like at least 5,
yeah,
maybe 10.
please, like, tell your fucking friends, man. Like, come on. We need you to listen.
We got to put more TikToks up because I want to get us to 1,000 followers.
We are 2 episodes away from canceling this whole thing. Okay, if we can't start getting some sponsors,
What are we gonna do?
we'll start a new one.
Oh, that seems like I don't know.
It'll be much more sexual.
Okay.
I like what you've done here. Anyway, random
All right.
headlines.
You know, I actually think I heard this on Colbert, but I thought it was interesting. So
Not everybody watches Colbert.
that's true.
I don't, not for any reason. I just don't.
He's back in the studio now, so I'm feeling better about it.
All right.
NASA.
Yeah. Oh, I love NASA. I'm almost done with Mike Collins' book,
Oh, yeah.
Carrying the Fire.
Oh.
Third astronaut on Apollo 11. You know
right,
who he is.
right. The question was posed to NASA: how do astronauts do laundry in
don't.
space? Did you already know this?
Well, I knew this, yes, because I read astronaut Kelly's book.
Oh.
And yeah, they just wear their clothes until they're
They literally wear them till they smell like poop.
right.
Till
Yeah.
they can't take it any longer.
Yeah, they do have a method to shower on the space station.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't know what's worse though. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Apollo missions and,
Uh-huh.
and those where they were up there for sometimes 8 or 9 days.
Right.
Gemini, they were up there a little bit longer.
Uh-huh.
The command module was very small.
Yeah.
Like they had to sleep under the seat. Like,
Right,
One
right.
person slept under the seats. The other 2 slept above. Like
But
9 days.
but there's weightlessness, so I'm really curious as to what that feels
Well,
like.
sure. No, I'm not talking about sleep.
Yeah.
I'm talking about 9 days
Oh.
of 3 men.
Oh, yeah. Is there AC at least?
I mean, they have filters.
Open the window. Crack a window in
They
here.
have
I farted.
filters and stuff, but you know, like you're literally 3 feet away from someone when they're taking a shit.
Ew.
Yeah, into a bag.
I don't know that it's that much better now. Do you think there's a nice? Do you think
Which would you rather do?
they have the same rules on the space station with the urinals?
I don't know, man. I just like
Don't you have to like put a vacuum tube to your penis?
that's how it's always worked. Except they had to change it for female astronauts, which is why they created that $4 million toilet. Remember?
right.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a condom. By the way,
Yeah.
so I'm reading astronaut Mike Collins' book,
Uh-huh.
and so he was the early astronaut,
Right.
right? And the condom sizes for peeing
Mm-hmm.
were like extra large, ginormous, and unbelievable. It was something like that. Those are the small, medium, and large because they didn't want it. They didn't want anybody to, you know. But there were still people who
really
chose
funny.
the bigger size, and he said that they
Got pee everywhere.
they called them wetbacks
Ah.
before that was a derogatory
Ah.
term because you'd be sitting in your seat in the simulator, and if your condom was too loose, your pee would puddle in your back.
Oh. That's
That's
disgusting.
really gross. He's like, so that made you choose the right size, though. Anyway,
I would. Is there a size lower than large?
I think
I'll
well,
take-
large was the small.
I'll
That's
take
the
a-
point.
I know.
That's
I'll
the
take
point.
a medium. Yeah. So, and the even crazier thing is once they are done with them, they jettison them
Right.
to burn up in the
Burn up
Earth's
in the
atmosphere.
You see a shooting star, you're like, that wasn't a
You
shooting
know,
star.
they should at least wrap them in something that will survive the plummet into the atmosphere, so that when you go to a baseball game, you catch a fly ball, maybe you catch a fly sock or pair of pants.
Right. Yeah, it's my understanding they like pack them into some sort of little capsule.
Right, and it burns up.
So it
though.
burns
but
up.
I,
Because if you were to just throw a pair of pants towards the atmosphere, I don't think they'd go in. I think they'd bounce off.
probably.
I don't know. I don't know enough about physics. You just skip off, you know.
Though my pants are on a trajectory to Jupiter, they'll
Right.
be there in 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So they
funny.
can't do their laundry on the space station. Though.
Maybe that'll be a new addition, a new capsule that goes into the space station. Did I ever
The
share?
laundry. Well, were you gonna finish this headline?
No, go ahead.
Well, are you gonna finish it?
No, I'm moving on.
Oh, well, you don't think you didn't finish the whole story though.
Oh, what? Yeah, what else?
They
is
can't
there?
do their laundry,
Oh.
but Procter and Gamble is sending up a special detergent to try.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, that was
I didn't even read that far.
But yeah, they can shower though, kind of. It's basically like they get their hair wet and it just kind of stays in a bubble.
So weird.
Put soap in it and it just kind of stays
That
in a
is
bubble, and then they just wipe it off with a towel.
weightlessness is something that I want to try. I want to experience so bad.
You don't have to go to space. You just
I
have to-
know it's not the same though. It only lasts for a few seconds when they nosedive that airplane.
Right. The vomit comet. What's
Yeah.
It called?
Yeah. Have I ever shared with you my my theory? I think I have about squids and octopi and how that they're aliens.
Yeah.
How
I don't think it's a theory anymore.
well, so NASA just sent some squid into space for research.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw they sent some more tardigrades. The bear.
Aren't they just everywhere?
But they survive the vacuum
I
of space.
know,
It's crazy.
Dozens of baby squid from Hawaii are in space for study. The baby Hawaiian bobtail squid were raised at the University of Hawaii's Marine Laboratory and were blasted into space earlier this month on a SpaceX resupply mission to ISS. Jamie Foster, who completed her doctorate at University of Hawaii, is studying how spaceflight affects the squid in hopes of bolstering human health during long. How do you think they're gonna? Ah! How do they even survive? How? They're just in a bag, I guess.
Are they? They're putting them into space.
They're in space right now.
Yeah,
they're
not in a capsule.
No, they're in ISS. They're not floating around. We didn't jettison to the sun.
That's what I was asking. Okay, so
trying to colonize the moon with squid people.
So they're just walking, or they're not even walking.
They're floating,
double
around. Floating. They're floating around in water.
Oh wow, that's weird.
Right? Those squid are gonna be tripping, man.
Yeah.
We have found that the symbiosis of humans with their microbes is perturbed. Wait. I don't know. Something about microgravity. Florida professor, investigator, NASA. Foster said understanding what happens to the squid in space could help solve health problems.
I mean, they have to say that to get the funding and the go-ahead.
I think they're going to try to colonize Mars with squid
With
people.
squid. Right.
Squid people. I got to find this other story here because my links aren't working.
Squeeple.
It was from Fox News, and it was about a neighbor. Have you ever had a dispute with your neighbors?
No, I wouldn't call it a dispute. When we first moved in here, we had two giant, I don't know what they were, Chinese elms.
I thought.
Huge trees.
I thought you were going to say people for sure.
Huge trees that, before we had moved in, a branch had fallen and damaged something of theirs. And so, guy, super nice. His name's Larry. He came over to me. He's like, "Hey, you need to cut these trees down." I was like, "Dude, I just moved in here. Do you think I have the money to cut these trees down?" He's like, "All right, fair enough." And then it was 2 years later. He's like, if you let me, I'll pay to cut off these branches because they're hanging over my power lines. I'm like, you could cut down the whole damn tree if you're paying.
Yeah.
So he did. He didn't cut down the whole tree, but he cut those branches off. So that's the closest I've come to a dispute.
That's interesting because that's exactly what happened here. There was a tree, and this is in the UK.
Trees there.
What? So there's a tree and on one person's property, and it's right on the edge of the other person's property's driveway, and part of it goes over the driveway, and this guy is upset because there's birds pooping on his car. And the people that have the tree don't want to cut it down, so they cut the tree in half.
They did who was the Bible story where that happened?
King
Benjamin. Where they cut the child in half? He's like, we'll cut the child in half.
Is it Benjamin?
All I can think of is Newman in Seinfeld now. With the bike between Kramer and Elaine. He's like, we'll cut the bike down the middle.
Yeah, so that's what they did. You know, this story seemed more interesting when I looked at it, but now it seems like, why is this news?
How is the tree going to survive?
You know, and that's why I'm saying it's not really even news, because they didn't actually cut it in half. They just cut all the limbs.
Right.
I mean,
They
when you look at it,
Yeah.
when you look at it straight on, it looks like someone did just go whoosh.
Okay. Just a half and half.
But it must have just been a slow news day.
Well, this is random headlines. Normally, I try and find an image, and I just did. So let me put this up here in case you're watching on the
Kind of
tube.
feel like it was a slow, random headline news day because all I could find was people winning the lottery. I see that. I get that a lot.
Man, we got to start driving up. We got to start driving
I
up.
know, I
getting one.
know. So like
This looks like something that would happen in like a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Edward
Mhm.
Edward Scissorhands did it.
They should just cut that tree down. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
Yeah.
I get a lot of our stories from UPI.com. So, woman wins $200,000 after store sells out a favorite lottery ticket. Black bear on the loose after escape from refugee camp. What?
Refugee camp.
That's what it says.
Wow.
California truck driver wins $1 million Powerball. Lost Rembrandt painting rediscovered. British teen folds 1,000 or. This also has all the Guinness stuff.
Yeah. Well, now you're just reading them at will. We need to hear you get into one. Do you
I
have
don't
any
know.
more lined up?
They're just. How about this?
Okay.
So we
read it with some
we
excitement.
used to work for tips. All
Yeah.
right. What was the biggest tip you ever got when you delivered pizza?
I know. I think 50. I got a 50 once.
I believe I got a $90 one once.
And
it was a huge order.
Mine was a tiny order.
Oh,
It was
really?
like a $15 order.
Okay.
It's actually
see,
a really
that's
funny
always
story.
cool.
The guy. Can I tell you the story?
Yeah, yeah.
This guy, he ordered quite a bit, and he only lived like 2 blocks from the store.
Right.
So it was an easy delivery. And he opens the door. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Just need you to sign the receipt. And he's like, it's such a. I'm like, hey, how's it going? And he's like, it's just a fucky day. I was like, oh man, well, I hope it gets better. Have a good one. And I walked away, right? And I get in my car and I look down, and it's a $50 tip, and I realized he said lucky. He said it's your lucky day,
Oh,
not that he was having a bad day.
right.
He said it's your lucky day. Gave me a $50 tip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Have you ever done that? Did you pay it forward?
No, but I do tip generously. I've never done a giant tip.
No.
I would. I saw a news article today about a big tip. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, workers at a New Hampshire restaurant said they were stunned when a customer left a $16,000 tip on a $37.93 bill. Michelle McCudden, or probably McCudden, a bartender at Stumble Inn Bar and Grill
What a great name.
in Londonderry, said the customer, who is not a regular, had ordered a couple of wieners and cocktail. It actually says hot dogs. I don't know why I said wieners.
I like wieners and cocktails, though,
Yeah.
especially if you say
some
it right.
wieners and cocktails and fried pickles. Lots of phallic references going.
That's all they have there.
So yeah, just some guy came in, and it was probably Jesus Christ and Second Coming. Gave $16,000. You know, it was probably.
How does that work? Didn't we see one once where the restaurant refused to pay it out?
Yeah, it was a whole thing. I don't remember whatever happened with that.
That was like episode 20.
Yeah, there was a huge tip. It was legitimate, but the restaurant was claiming it wasn't.
Right.
I think it went to court, and I think she won.
Goes to court.
I know,
Is this a
right?
real signature?
Like, once you find out it's real, like, it's done. Like,
Just charge
why
Yeah.
it's not coming out of your pocket unless
Like, does it affect the business's
No,
taxes? In
not
any
at all.
way?
No, because
It's going to
it has nothing. Like, technically, the business doesn't see it.
Right, the server pays taxes on it.
Right. I
Right.
mean, when we worked at Domino's, the business sort of saw it. Like when they do credit tips, you'd have to claim those.
Right, which
And-
is what
but they-
which is what this is.
But they'd still give you cash
Right.
out of the cash that you had on hand that you took for cash deliveries.
Right. At the end of the day, yeah, they added up all the credit card receipts, gave you the cash. Right.
So they never really never really see it, so I don't know
Yeah.
what the deal was with that.
Hmm.
But speaking of work, I don't know. I'm trying to think if I've ever used like an elaborate excuse to get out of work.
Now, in fact, I learned a lesson years ago that was to not even say that I was sick, because I had a boss that would ask why or like what's going on.
Right.
So I learned with that particular boss just to call and I'm sure my bosses are going to listen to this episode now. But I learned, but it was legitimate. Even if it was a legitimate call-in, right? I would say, hey, I'm not going to make it in today.
That's
Can't,
it.
can't really say anything.
It's true.
It's just, that's there's no policy.
Right.
It's not a no-call, no-show. I'm calling you, telling I'm not going to show up. So
I still have this. So working in retail, calling in it's frowned upon. People get
here's the deal though. I worked in retail as well. I never cared. I said people get sick. People need a day off.
I know.
That's
I know.
fine.
I agree.
Yeah. Managers made a big
I
deal
will
about
say
it.
that it was a pain to
Sure.
deal with, and it did cause some customer service to be lower. But
I never took it personally though.
no,
I was always just like, whatever,
No,
man. If
I
he needs a
mean-
day off, that's fine. That's fine.
I normally, but my point being is that it was so frowned upon that I still kind of carry that with me today.
Yeah.
Because when you called in sick at a grocery store, they were shorthanded. Like
Right.
it would affect all the other employees. The breaks would be behind.
Right.
It would be a problem unless they got somebody to cover it, which no one.
Right.
Can you imagine getting a call at 4 PM? Hey, I know it's Saturday, but can you work 6 to 2 a.m.? Oh yeah. Oh, let me get in there. I can't wait to do that.
Really need that
Yeah.
time and a half.
So I'm kind of conditioned to be afraid to call in.
Yeah.
But what I usually do is just go in and cough a lot and then wait to get sent home, or so that way they know that I come in when I'm sick. So when I do call in, they think I'm dying.
Right.
And those are the days I'm not sick.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I've
man.
never used an elaborate excuse. The
Me neither.
the easiest thing to do is just say you have stomach or butt issues, and that kind of puts a
Look, it depends on the boss. If you got a good relationship, then you can just be like, look, I just,
Yeah.
I feel like crap, or man, I just need a day off.
right. Right.
But,
And, I'm in a business now where and I have been for a while, that if I don't come in, it's not really going to.
yeah.
Or I could just probably do it from home.
Did I ever tell you the story about when my boss thought that I called in sick more than I did? It's one of the most frustrating experiences of my life. I was working retail, and I was working at one store for like half the year, and I transferred to a new store. The manager, my boss at the first store, I was her assistant manager. She didn't put a schedule in the computer for us.
Oh.
She just wrote it.
Oh.
So it would just make one up, right?
Right.
And then whatever. I go to the new store, and that manager does put it in the computer.
Right.
I called in sick legitimately on like a Friday, and he called me in. His name was Ben, super nice guy. He hired me twice, actually 3 times. He hired me 3 times. He called me, and he's like, hey, me and his boss, we're like worried that you're taking advantage of the system. I'm like, the hell are you talking about? He's like, well, we went back and looked, and it looks like you've taken, like 12 days off in the last year. I'm like, what are you? No. Are you serious? What are you talking about? And so I go back and look. I go to in the system, it's easy to look at like how many sick hours you've been paid, right? And I had been paid like, I don't know, like 48 sick hours. So not 12. That's 12. No, it was like, oh no, that's right. That's like 6 days.
Yeah.
Right? 6 days. And so I showed him, I'm like, hey, look, I know it doesn't really matter much, but I don't like having a negative perception about me, But I found the math, and in the last year, I've called in 6 times, and like 3 of the days were like when Ashley had like a miscarriage. You know what I mean? And so I was like, really, it's like 3 days. that I called in last year. I just want you to correct the record. He's like, that's cool. I understood. I'm like, no, you need to call your boss right now with me in the office and tell him that you figured out it was an error because my old boss, the reason it showed 12 was because she didn't put it in the computer. So it just showed as not worked that day.
Right.
But he didn't look at the total sick pay.
Right.
So frustrating.
That
It just didn't seem like he cared. You know what I
they
mean?
never do. It is obnoxious.
Yeah.
When
I'm like, you came to me.
when that happened, that doesn't really happen to me anymore. But that happened to me. That kind of stuff happened
Yeah.
at Kroger all the time. It was like,
You came to me and accused me of something.
yeah,
I proved you wrong. You should care.
right.
You should be like, oh, thank you so much.
You should get on your knees.
Yeah, you
and
should be on your fucking
lick
knees.
lick my balls. Anyway, I stumbled across a random excuse
Generator?
generator.
That's fantastic.
And so I just generated one. What is DJIN? Jin?
DJIN?
How do you spell that? How do you say that?
I would say gin.
Jin? I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is? Sorry, before I read this excuse, I want to know what I'm saying,
Gin
so I don't get canceled.
in the Quran. A spirit often capable of assuming human or animal form.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Please forgive me. An eyeless Jin was yelling slurs at kids in my neighborhood.
Eyeless gin. Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
like a demon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you said that to a boss, what do you think? Like, what? Are you serious? No, I'm serious.
What, have you never heard of a
yeah.
gin? What, are you living under a fucking
Now,
rock?
this may sound crazy, but a donkey handcuffed me to a radiator. You got to have more to that story. That can't be all the excuse.
I don't want to talk about what happened next, okay? But I didn't have pants on.
I couldn't help it. My father got my uniform on fire. Holy shit. Get this. A cool lizard smashed up my car. Some of these are kind of missed, man.
Yeah, this just seems like more of a joke. We need a real one.
I know.
We should go to Fiverr. I bet you there's someone on there that can make us a generator.
Probably. Oh, this is like a... Oh, no, this seems like another joke. I have to take my doctor to my minister. I have to renew my driver's license. I have to get my big toe calibrated.
Calibrated.
There's a crocodile in my house.
No, look, the answer is just say, hey,
I've got diarrhea.
I'm not coming in today. And if they ask why, just say, it's personal, man. I'm not coming in.
It's personal and my butt stinks and...
There's not, what else are they going to say? It's not going to change the fact that you're not coming in.
Right.
If you're abusing the system, it doesn't matter whether or not you're sick. Even if you're legitimately, you could have cancer. And if it's happening too often, they're going to give you shit about it.
My favorite singer died last night. I'm in no fit of state of mind to work. My cat was diagnosed with feline depression, and the doctor, Harry, website says it's contagious.
I like that we learned a new word today. Gin.
Yin, jin, jin.
It's also spelled just J-I-N-N.
Oh.
It's just, I think it's D-J-I-N in the Quran.
Oh, the
So,
Quran.
yeah. Human or animal form and exercising supernatural influence over people. Huh. Is gin a Scrabble word?
It must have something to do with the simulation.
Just so you know, if you've got a J in Scrabble,
Uh-huh.
gin is a valid Scrabble word.
Is it?
D-J-I-N.
That's good to know.
It is really good to know. It's like learning that chi works.
Now I don't have to cheat on Words with Friends.
Right.
Remember that? Do you remember? Did you play Words with Friends?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Cheat all the time?
I never cheated.
Oh, yeah, me either. All right, that's it. I think we're done.
All right.
It's like midnight or something, isn't it?
It's like 9:45, which is midnight to us.
Whatever.
What?
I stayed up till like 2 last night on accident.
That sucks.
You know why? I've been building this this Lego.
Legos. Hey,
Did I tell?
by the way, yeah, you told us that it's been helping your mental health.
Oh, right.
Has it? Has that been keeping up?
Yeah. So I kind of got way into it, and
You need to start 3D printing
So-
your own Legos.
I thought about it, but that goes against the Lego code. Have you watched the Lego show on Fox?
No.
Lego Masters?
No.
Where
I've seen it
They
on
do a bunch of
Netflix.
competitions. It's pretty interesting.
It's like the fastest.
No, well, there's a time limit. Like, my favorite one from last season was they had to build a bridge out of Legos. And
Just any form, like it's you're the artist.
yeah, but it had to withstand so much weight. And, you know, you could tell it was the first season and they didn't think it through enough.
Yeah.
Because somebody built one, they ran out of weight. They literally ran out of weight, and so they had to start grabbing like sandbags from the studios, the cameras and stuff, and it never broke.
How many Legos? Like, are we talking?
Oh, it's a lot. They're big.
I think it would be cool, like you did the ISS, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you just show them a picture. And here
Oh,
are
they
your
could
pieces.
do it, dude. You should watch the show and see the crazy stuff they build.
It's like that guy that can draw a city.
It's
You ever seen
nuts.
that guy?
Uh-uh.
He's autistic. He's a savant.
Oh.
He goes on like a 10-minute helicopter tour of a city
And
and draws it on like a 20-foot long piece of paper.
That's so weird. So right now I'm building this airplane.
Ah,
It's actually huge. It's like this big.
okay.
And I've been buying all my own pieces, and there's no instructions. I'm just building it.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Are
Are you going to audition for the show?
No, I don't think you understand how good these people are. You just go watch an episode, and you'll be like, I didn't know that was
All right.
possible with Lego.
I'm buying Legos right now.
Do it. Do it. Anyway, we should go.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. Please tell your friends.
Tell them.
Please. What is this? Episode 113.
Yep.
We're getting up there. We are getting up there.
Wow.
You're listening to the Artake Podcast. Go to theartakepodcast.com or at the Artake Pod on TikTok. For episode 113, I'm Brian.
I'm trying on hats. I'm going to see if I'm a hat person. See you next time.